consider complex number. I just want to introduce it in a simple way. This is not where we will actually treat more about complex number. We just want to introduce what complex number is. Now, any number that can be written in the form x plus yi or x plus yj. At times, we can take it as a plus bi or a plus bj. This is what we call complex number. So, of course, x can be any real number. Like, for example, 2 plus y can also be any real number, 3. But I is constant. I can also write it as 2 plus 3j. Now, how do we now, what is the property or what are the components? What do we call the name of each component? This x represents the real part of the complex number, real part. Y represent the imaginary part of the complex number, imaginary parts. Then I represent the imaginary number, imaginary number. So this is what you'll be using to compare everything. J is also an imaginary number. I will talk about it before the end of this video. Good. You can use this to compare every number that is written in this form. For example, 2 plus 3i. 2 represents the real part of the complex number. 3 represents the imaginary part of the complex number. I represent the imaginary number. Just like we have it here, J represents the imaginary number. So, good. This, you don't separate them, you take them together like that. So, numbers like this exist in the complex number system. Good. Now, it is the presence of this I that makes it complex. If we remove the I away, that is no more I there, it is no longer complex. It becomes real. For example, removing the I, we have 2 plus 3. That will give me 5. And 5 is a real number. But the presence of this I is a problem. Now, what do we now mean by the I? That I, or we call it J, I or J, okay, I is known as iota, and the value is square root of -1. J is known as jota, and the value is square root of -1, the same thing. So, this, if you check your calculator to press square root of -1, it will give you an undefined number. It means this does not exist in real number system. It doesn't exist in our real world, real life experience. So it is something that we imagine because there is a solution of quadratic that always, so the solution of some quadratic will lead to this kind of number. How do we now handle them? We cannot handle them in the real number system. We need to handle them in the complex number system. That's what I is talking about. So that's what makes it an imaginary number. So any quadratic whose solution lead to something like this, you know, generally solution of quadratic always cut across the x-axis at 2 points. So these 2 points, this is x1 and the other one is x2. These 2 points will represent the root of the quadratic. But for a quadratic that leads to complex numbers like this, the solution will not cut across the x-axis at all. So instead, it will be floating on top like this. So this indicates that the roots are complex roots. Complex roots. Why these ones that cut across the x-axis are known as real roots. So if you study nature of roots, when you study nature of roots, you will understand what we are talking about. So we will talk more about this in subsequent topics and video. Thank you.